Hey guys, Weaves here, and I have a little something different for you today. The plan for this channel has always been to do loads of Pokemon Go stuff, and then when Wizards Unite comes out, branch over into that as well. And finally we have some solid news about Wizards Unite, which is coming this year, 2019. So for those who don't know, Harry Potter Wizards Unite is a collaboration between Warner Brothers Games and Niantic. It is going to be another AR game, so based on the database that powers both Ingress and Pokemon Go, but set in the Harry Potter universe. Or more specifically, set in our universe with little windows into Harry Potter's Wizarding World. So finally, we have some solid, proper details on how the game will work. This comes straight from Warner Brothers, as well as a bunch of information I have from IGN and Eurogamer, who also published articles today. So the first thing you probably want to know, the first thing I wanted to know, is are we going to be in Hogwarts houses? And the answer to that is no. So I am not going to be stuck with my Pottermore Slytherin. I don't know why I got sorted into Slytherin. Clearly I am evil. I mean, not evil, ambitious is how they describe us. Anyway, don't have to play your house or any house. Instead, players have been recruited by the Statute of Secrecy, and you will choose from one of 3 different classes. We have auras, which, as you may know from the Wizarding World, are kind of the magic police. So those are the ones that will specialize in fighting against dark wizards. Then we have the Magizoologists. They will specialize in fighting against fantastic beasts. And then there's a class called Professor, who apparently has a lot of knowledge, but nothing I managed to read or see really describes what professors are good at. But it doesn't seem to really matter, because while each of these classes has their own skills tree, according to the Eurogamer article, you can bounce between those skills trees as much as you want. Presumably it'll just take a bit more grind. Or maybe you want to get a certain amount of points in the end and you have to choose between them? Who knows? Story-wise, there is something called the Calamity that has happened, and most of the story... What they've said is that the story will last for years, and they're saying this about Pokemon Go as well, that it's going to be a forever game, as they call it, so things will keep expanding as it goes. And what the story will revolve around is us, as part of the Statute of Secrecy, trying to figure out what caused the calamity and running about the world trying to fix things that it's created. These things are called foundables, and foundables are things that will be littered around the real world. Go up to them and you'll have some kind of encounter, whether it be a beast that's trapped and you need to free it, or possibly a vision of a Dementor attacking Harry Potter is one of the things that's been revealed, so you'll have to try and fight that off. And the way spells are cast is, if you've played Hogwarts Mystery, then you basically just trace a little pattern on your mobile screen. That's how it's going to work in Wizards Unite as well. Do it quickly, do it accurately, and you get stickers. Bearing in mind, this is all what I've got from press releases and videos and reading. Stickers are a thing where you collect enough of them and you get to unlock, as far as we know, 2 different types of things. One, a Pokedex kind of log, where once you get enough, you can take an AR photo with something, yay! And the other one looks slightly more interesting, which is you get to unlock runes. And runes will come into play in fortresses, which I'll talk about later. Foundables seem to be a lot like spawns in Pokemon Go. So they're based on weather, they're based on the time of day, they're based on biomes. And one thing that Eurogamer emphasized is that they can also be based on phases of the moon. So if you want to encounter something like a werewolf, you'll have to go out on... I don't know if it'll be night times, but you'll have to go out when the moon is in its full phase. Because Niantic historically doesn't want you going out at midnight. So presumably, it'll just be generally on the day when the moon is full, werewolves are more likely to be around. As I said earlier, it's going to be based around Niantic's point of interest database, so that's the real world things that become Pokestops and gyms in Pokemon Go and Ingress portals in Ingress. Now for anyone who plays both games, you'll know that there are actually a lot more Ingress portals than Pokemon stops. So in particularly busy areas like city centers and whatever, you might see slightly different things compared to Pokestops. These locations will become inns, greenhouses, and landmarks. Inns are places where you can get food, and food is apparently what you need to power spells, so presumably something like mana or mana points. At greenhouses, you can harvest ingredients that you can then use to brew potions later. Now this sounds interesting because it says that ingredients will be based on biomes and potions will be related to the weather. So certain potions you can maybe only brew when it's raining or something like that. So it does sound like there might be things you can do that don't involve just walking around constantly. Because I know at the moment with Pokemon, now yes, we can do a little bit of PvP, but most of the time if you just got like a spare half hour and fire it up, all you really get to do is, you know, appraise your Pokemon and then throw them away. So it would be nice to be able to be like, oh no, it's midnight, I'm bored, let's brew a potion. Another item you can get is Portkeys, and if you know Harry Potter, you'll know that Portkeys are things that when you touch them, you get transported somewhere else. It's not exactly how they will work in Wizards Unite, but it's kind of similar. So they seem to be a little bit like eggs, in that you have to walk them. So you get your Portkey, you walk around for a bit, and then you unlock it, which means you can put down the Portkey and open a portal. Walk through the portal and you will be briefly virtually transported into the wizarding world, so you can see places like Dumbledore's study or Ollivander's wand shop, other places you might know from the books and the films. No idea what you can do there, but again, something you could possibly do from the comfort of your own home. The big multiplayer aspect they've revealed is a thing called fortresses, and these are... they sound more like MMO raids than Pokemon Go raids. So what you need to do is get a group of up to 5 people, so hopefully you can do just like 1 or 2, because I know most people I know play Pokemon Go in pairs. And then yes, we all get together for the raids, but it's mostly pairs. So, you go to a fortress, you go inside, apparently you equip a rune, and the rune, by the sounds of the IGN article, affects what kind of... it says what kind of bounty you get. So I don't know if that means a bounty in terms of what you get to fight, or a bounty in terms of what loot you get afterwards. Either way, this is where runes come into play. So you go into the fortress, you fight a bunch of stuff. And I don't know why I'm waving my hands, because I have a wand. I carved this from a tree branch last year with my own 2 hands because I was playing Hogwarts Mystery and I got inspired for some reason. So anyway, you go into your fortress, you wave your wand around, you attack a bunch of stuff, and by waving your wand around, you don't actually wave a wand around, and hopefully you don't have to vocalize spells either. Instead, you just trace patterns on the screen. And it seems like this is where your class will come into play, because you can choose which monster on the floor to attack. Everybody pairs off against a monster until all the monsters on the floor are dead. So if you're an aura, you'll presumably go off and fight the dark wizards. If you're a magizoologist, go fight the creatures. If you're a professor, I don't know, read a book or something. The way it's described in the press release is: synchronous multiplayer challenges in fortresses on the map will present a complete RPG experience, featuring shared arenas, combat encounters, and group-wide arena effects. So whatever happens, you're going in together, you're fighting stuff beside each other, and you get loot. Hooray! But by the looks of it, there's plenty of things to do outside that as well, so if maybe your friends aren't that into it, you can at least do the other stuff by yourself. Much like Pokemon Go, I know there are plenty of people out there that don't even bother with raids. So yeah, sounds great to me. I really want to play. They have opened up sign-ups on Android, so if you go into the Google Play Store, search for Harry Potter Wizards Unite, you can pre-register and hopefully get invited to early access. They say iOS is coming soon, and again, the only date they've given out so far is 2019, so hopefully it'll be a summer release, because it's a game that's outdoors, you know? It's kind of cold now. It was like 3 degrees today. And once again, I'm like, wait, summer release, but Australia. Sorry, Australia. But hopefully it'll release in some nice warm weather, and we can go outside and not freeze our fingers off. What do you think? What kind of class would you want to do? Are you disappointed that you don't get to be, you know, Gryffindor and all that stuff? Or do you think you're just going to stick with Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye!